Hari Om, everyone. Namaste to all the Atma Bandhus. As ever, I'm extremely happy to be here today with you all and share this rare, work with you all. But before that, a prayer. Sadashiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम् ॐ नमः प्रणवार्थाय शुद्धज्ञानैकमूर्तये निर्मलाय प्रशान्ताय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः. So my sincere pranams to all my gurus, to God, to my Guru Sri Narasimha Prabhuji for giving me this yogyata of sharing these wonderful words, these wonderful thoughts with you all. Thank you, Vani and Vasu, also for giving me this forum. So as this Dosha Parihara Ashtakam, I hadn't heard of it at all. So it was a very new work which I came across. Not many speakers or Mahatmas have spoken about it, but Swami Dayananda Saraswati of Arshavidya Kurukul, Coimbatore, he is one of them who brought this to limelight and made it a bit popular. And the author as well, Sridhara Venkatesha Shastri. He is also not well known. I hadn't heard of him. So apparently he was a prolific writer. So my ears perked up when I heard the words Dosha Parihara. Ears perk up, isn't it? We need Parihara for many things in life, especially in my horoscope. Horoscope, people call it, right? Lot of doshas I might find. Shani is here, Rahu is in the wrong place, Kuja is looking at some other, some other place. Kada Sarpa dosha, Sade Sati, whatnot. Dosha. So that is the kind of pariharas you have been seeking for a long time. But in this work, this is not the kind of dosha the author is speaking about. Because the planets are fine in their place. They are just doing their jobs. Why are they sitting in those places? Because of my prarabdha only. They are coming and sitting there. How can we find fault, dosha with the planets for minding their business? Isn't it? So it is quite disappointing. Oh, this is not the kind of dosha that I'm getting the parihara for. What other dosha? There are many doshas apart from the planetary doshas in my life. Doshas with the situations, with the environment, with world affairs, with the quality of water, quality of air, the leaders, my colleagues, my friends, my family members. Tell me where there is no dosha. There is plenty to be corrected there, isn't it? Oh, seriously, is there a parihara for that as well? I'm very important. I'm very curious. I want to know. Can I make it all go away with some mantra japa or some, whatever? Is that the kind of parihara this Mahatma is talking about? No. The world is also what it is. It is like that only. It is Ishvara Shushti, including everyone around me. God has made them like that. Me also. God has made me like that. So where is this dosha coming into the picture? The world, including everything, what I call as dosha, the global warming or the traffic or the politicians or my boss or the neighbor's dog, everything is Ishvara Shrishti. They are just what they are. But I find fault in them, isn't it? It's become my default nature to find fault with people, situations, and objects also. Inanimate objects also I find dosha. See this plant. There's a Brahma Kamala plant in my house. And it blooms only in the night when nobody is able to see it. And I'm not, alert enough to be awake when it blooms. The two once in a year. Brahma Kamala. Why did God make it that way? I'll complain. Isn't it? So, Ayyaval, like how this author was fondly known as Ayyaval. He says, I may have 100 complaints. Why? Why do I have complaints? Because I'm an MBA. What is this MBA? Manas, Buddhi, Ahankara. I'm a bundle of Manas, Buddhi and Ahankara. My mind and my intelligence and my ego, they make me find dosha everywhere. I'm not just an MBA, I have a PhD also. What is this PhD? I do a lot of research on what? R&D I do. Means raga and dvesha. I have a lot of likes and I have a lot of dislikes. I like this color, I don't like that. I mean, there are far too many to count, my ragas and dveshas. And I know best how everyone should be, how everyone should behave. Even God, what should God do? I know best. Why doesn't it not take avatara? Kaligala, ಎಷ್ಟು ಬಂದ್ಬಿಟ್ಟಿದೆ? ಇನ್ನೂ ಟೈಮ್ ಆಗಿಲ್ವಾ ಕಲ್ಕಿ ಅವತಾರ ಬರಕ್ಕೆ? ಈ ತರ ಎಲ್ಲ. I have a lot of complaints about God, inanimate objects, animate everything. But Dosha Parihara Ashtakam, this particular work, find dosha with the habit of finding dosha. The author says, stop right there. The habit that you have formed of finding fault with each and everything is very, very detrimental to your progress. Especially if you're a mukshu, if you're a sadhaka, this is a very bad habit. Get rid of it. Okay? Learn to leave the world alone. You cannot go on correcting the world. So what should I do? Correct yourself. I have to correct myself. That's what this author is telling us. Correct yourself. The dosha is in me. I have to correct myself, not the world. Then everything will fall into place. So, we should start thinking on those lines. Better late than never. We have to stop looking at the mirror and asking, mirror, mirror on the wall, who is the fairest of them all? And every time we expect the answer, you. Which is not, it is asatya also. It is not even truth, isn't it? So why do we expect that from the mirror? That means the world around us. Because that's the only way I can find myself perfect. If I find some imperfection in somebody else, I feel better. Oh, thank God I'm not like that. That is the ego's way of protecting itself. Very harmful tendency in a jignasu. What should a seeker do? You hear some nonsense from something, you leave it out from the other ear. That should be the sadhana of a jignasu. Otherwise, there'll be no place for God in my life. This Ashtakam, it shows up my faults and it asks me to introspect about my own behavior, isn't it? So, what is the meaning of Ashtaka? Ashtaka means 8. This is a this is a composition of 8 verses, only 8, small. So there are even 5 verses are there, Panchakams are there, Sadhana Panchakam, Manisha Panchakam, isn't it? 5 verses. Shatakam is there, Shatakam, what is there? Nirvana Shatakam. So many things. There are very, very various formats are there for all these Mahatmas to give their thoughts, isn't it? So this particular work was written by this author, Sridhara Venkatesha Shastri, 400 years ago, about 400 years ago. He was from the state of Mysore. And his father was a diwan in the Mysore Maharaja's palace. Diwan means what? He was a confidant and he was a Shastri, he was a Pandita. Very, 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 very revered. This Sridhara's father was of a very saintly disposition, and so was this Sridhara Venkateshwara Shastri. Very, very saintly, always spending, though he was in a palace along with his father in the palace of the Mysore Maharaja. He used to spend all his time in the temple. He was adorable, and he was attractive because he was so saintly. He was charismatic. People would get attracted to him, and he was a jnani also. Then after his father retired, this Sridhara Venkateshwara was the natural choice to becoming the next divan. But he didn't want it. His mindset was entirely, he was not at all interested in worldly affairs. He had no interest. So what did he do? One fine day, he just took his mother and his wife and he left the palace. Look at the people in his life also, very saintly. Whatever he said, they were good with it. They were ready to leave the palace and go away with this person. But his charishma, the Sridhara Venkateshwara Shastri's charishma was such that wherever he went, he used to become very popular. He would again pack up and leave that place to escape. He didn't want to be amid people. He didn't want that attention, but inevitably he would attract attention. So from Mysore he went to Trichy. There also his anonymity, he thought maybe it's a different state, different language, people won't know me. No, but again, there what happened, and he was a mystic also, not just a jnani, he was a mystical jnani. There, out of sheer compassion, when he was returning from a bath, he found that parents were wailing over a dead child. So they fell at his feet, please do something. And so out of great compassion, he sprinkled some water and the boy came to life, finished. He was again surrounded by people. So he left Trichy and again, went to settle in some other more remote place. Then finally he settled down near Tanjavur. In Tanjavur, near a small village called Tiruvisanallur. He settled down there finally. His wife must have said, we can't keep on running like this. We have to, we can't help it that you're so attractive. We have to settle down. So they just settled down over there. And this Venkateshwara Shastri was a contemporary of the Bhakti, the trinity of the Bhakti tradition south of the Vindhyas, along with Sadashiva Brahmendra and Bodhendra Saraswati. And and in Trichy, he came to be known as Ayyaval. Then these three were the canons, they were the pillars of the Bhakti tradition. And the Ishtadevata was Lord Shiva. So, in many compositions to his credit, and this Ayyaval was tested by the Panditas. Naturally, this happens. This happened with Tulsidas also, isn't it? His contemporaries refused to recognize his greatness and they challenged his works. And once, this is an anecdote in his life, because he was a Shiva Bhakta, one of the Panditas, he dressed up as the Krishna and he stood in the temple which this Ayyaval used to go and do worship in. And so, he was a jnani. Won't he know that, whether it's Krishna or Shiva, it's all the same Chaitanya. So he ran out and he composed the Krishna Dvadasha Manjari on the spot. So such was his bhakti, such was his panditya. And like this, he kept on doing many controversial things. Once, this is just to give an insight into his personality. There was one Tithi at home. Tithi, we know what is Tithi. There was forefathers, they had to give Pinda, maybe his father or something. So then they were making all preparations. The wife had cooked, the appropriate meal to be given to the Brahmanas. At that exact time, a hungry outcast. He came begging for food at his doorstep, just when the Tithi was happening. So what did Ayyaval do? Please come. He called him, made him sit and fed him. And then what happened? All the Brahmanas, they were extremely upset. They were insulted. What are you doing? We are here doing this very solemn ritual, and the food reserved for the Pitrus, you are giving to this outcast. So they got up in a huff and they left. Ayyaval was not at all upset. He just put a durva grass, 3 brahmanas or whatever, then he put 3 durva grasses in 3 places. And in each durva grass, 1 brahmana sprang up in its place. Then he completed the rituals. The wife was not happy at all. She said, please stop doing all these miracles. We have to live here. We cannot upset the people around us. We cannot upset these brahmanas. You have to make peace with these brahmanas. So he was a very kind man and he was very understanding. So he said, yes, you're right. And he went to the brahmanas and he begged for forgiveness. I am very sorry for doing this. Please come to my house and accept my atithya. They were unforgiving. Why should we do this? But then he begged and begged. And so they said, okay, go take a dip in the Ganga and come. Where is this man? Down south in Trichy. Where is the Ganga? Up there, north. And this was like, maybe December time. And by this time, this Ayyaval was already very quite aged. He said, I cannot do the trip to Kashi right now. I'm very sorry. It is very cold. My mother is very old. I am also old. If I go, and those days, you have to go by foot, I'm sure, wherever you had to go. Then he said, and it's very cold. I can't bear the cold also up north. Brahmanas were unrelenting. They said, nothing doing. You have to, if you want to do Prayaschitta, this is the only thing we demand. You have to do it. So what did Ayyaval do? He just prays to his Ishtadevata, Shiva. Said, Shiva, please, I cannot come to Kashi at this hour, at this time of the season. In this season, I cannot come. Please send Ganga to my house. And yes, there was a dry well in his backyard. And the Ganga started flowing in that well. And it was overflowing. How much? The Ganga flooded the village, Tiruvasanallur. It flooded the whole village. And happily, Ayyaval would bathe in it every day. This is my Prayaschitta. I have to dip in the Ganga. I'm dipping in the Ganga every day. Not once, twice. Every day I will do it. So, finally what happened? Brahmins came running and fell at his feet. Please forgive us for testing you. You are a Mahatma. Please recall the Ganga. We are not used to this. We don't want her here. Please send her back. And so he did a pratana there and then. Bhagirata manobhishta siddhaye bhuvanashrite brahmanam manah pritya mama kupe sthirabhava. So please, you stay just in the well. Don't overflow on the streets of the village because the brahmanas are requesting. When he prayed like that, the Ganga stopped flooding the village. So then, that is why this Ayyaval is called as the Bhagirata of the south. Dakshina Bhagirata, he is called. And even today, to this day, in that little village, on the day of Kartika Amavasya, which is somewhere in October, November, thousands of people gather at Ayyaval's house in Tiruvasanallur and do this Ganga Puja. Ganga Avatarana Samaroha, it is called. They do that. So many things through his life. This Ayyaval gave lots of lessons. Compassion is higher than ritual. Feeding the hungry is true worship. Purity lies in the heart, not in bathing in the Ganga. Selfless love and devotion is divinity. All these things, he lived such a life, and he is called the Kali Yuga Bhagirata. Kali Yuga Bhagirata he is called, Ayyaval. Some of his other compositions are Bhagavan Nama Bhushanam. It is supposed to be his Meru, his masterpiece, Bhagavan Nama Bhushanam. So it was a bhakti tradition. Everything was about praising the Lord, praising the Lord. Bhagavan Nama Ratnamala, Namamrita Rasodaya. These are some of the works. Shiva Bhakti, Shiva Bhakti Stotra. Many slokas he has composed on Shiva. Okay. So why did this utterly blemishless person compose a stuti or on blemishes? It's a question to be asked. He was blemishless. He had no faults. So why did he compose this Dosha Parihara Ashtakam? Enlightened master. The only answer we can think of is due to utter compassion towards his devotees, towards the rest of us, rest of the sadhakas, the seekers. He was very compassionate. He says, I need to give them something because like most of us, like me, been doing Vedanta for a long time, but still I feel, I have not reached anything, I have not done anything. When will I get Bhagavan Dakshana? All these thoughts will come. Many mumukshus will face this question. Am I doing something right or am I doing something wrong? Why am I not getting the darshan of the Lord? Why is still bad things happening? Whatever. We get all sorts of questions. So, Ayyawal has pinpointed the problem for us because you have this habit which is clouding, it is making a parda. It is not allowing the Chitta Shuddhi is not happening because of this little habit that you have, which you have taken for granted. See, I didn't even know I had these kinds of doshas. In the next verses, he will explain what all the kind of doshas are hidden in this dosha finding habit. Very harmful, especially for a mumukshu, for a Vedantin, not at all done. That is why he said, I have to help my devotees. They have to get rid of this. On their behalf, I want to ask for forgiveness from the Lord. And so, this person, towards the late 1770s, he composed this. At the fag end of his life, he composed this work. But there was a catch. Okay. If this master composes something which says, which is addressing the seekers, and he says, you have this problem of finding dosha, you have to correct yourself. Where is the credibility? Because he is also finding fault. No. If I tell somebody you are wrong, I'm finding fault, and you are also finding wrong with me. So both of us are in the same boat. So why are you are not in any position to advise me? That would be my line of thought. So Ayyawal faced that problem, isn't it? If I find fault with fault finding, will it be credible? If I find fault with your fault finding, my credibility will be gone. So he had a master stroke. He said, he wrote the whole thing in first person. I have a lot of doshas, my Lord, please forgive me. See, because nobody likes to be criticized. I can find fault, but if somebody finds fault with me, I don't like it, isn't it? Nobody likes to be accused or criticized or corrected. So he took it upon himself. I will only find fault with myself, so that what happens when I am reading the verses, I'll be chanting it in first person. So that problem was solved. So for our sake, he did all this. And the 8 verses are in the form of a dialogue. I mean, he's just addressing the Lord and he's talking to Bhagavan. That's the format of this composition. And what is the chandas, that the meter? This chandas in which it is composed is Vasanta Tilaka. What a lovely name for a very grave problem. This Vasanta Tilaka, we are familiar in the form of Kausalya Supraja Rama Purva Sandhya Pravartate Uttishta Narashardula Kartavyam Daivamanhikam That is the Vasanta Tilaka meter, such a beautiful, lilting, lovely meter, which is used by sage Vishwamitra to wake up Lord Rama and Lakshmana during their, when they have gone with him to tackle the Rakshasas in the forest, isn't it? So, ಬೆಳಗಾಯಿತು ಎದ್ದೇಳು ಅಂತ ಋಷಿಗಳು ವಿಶ್ವಾಮಿತ್ರರು ರಾಮಚಂದ್ರನ್ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದು ಮೀಟರ್. ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ವಸಂತ ತಿಲಕ, waking up the Lord. Actually, it was not the Lord that had to be woken up. It was the Chaitanya within me which has to be woken up, isn't it? So every morning when we hear Kausalya, Supraja, Rama, I have to remember the Rama within me is, okay, that's for another day. Here, why has Ayyava used this meter, Vasanta Tilaka meter, for this verse? It's a wake-up call again. Who should wake up? The stupor. I have to wake up from the stupor of ignorance. That's how we have to understand it. That is why Ayyava used this particular meter to compose this work. Okay. So let us dive into this, into verse number 1. Anyasya dosha ganana kutukam sametat avishkaroti niyatam mayi doshavatvam dosha punarmaina chedakhile satishe doshagraham kathamudetu mamesha tasmin. Sounds very lovely, but it's actually telling me what a fool I am. O Akhilesha, O Lord, O Ishvara, the one who dwells in everyone. Why do I dwell? Why do I have this eagerness to dwell on other people's faults? Why do I have this kutukam? Anyasya dosha ganana kutukam. Whose dosha am I counting? Ganana, counting. Anyasya dosha. Some other's dosha I keep counting. And I have this kutukam, I have this eagerness to do so. That's what this verse is telling. So, avishkaroti niyatam mayi doshavatvam. This habit of fault finding of mine, what is it doing? You know, my Lord, it is showing up my fault only. The moment I call, the pot calls the kettle black, the kettle is telling your pot, you are also black. So, my habit of fault finding is pointing to me only, that I have a fault. Avishkaroti, it reveals. My doshavatma, my own fault, it is revealing. So this kutukam, this eagerness, except me, all are idiots. I know best. This is how it goes, the ego. I cannot handle my own imperfections. What I can handle? What right I have to talk about others, imperfections, isn't it? It's utter arrogance. This is how the ego functions. And so here the introspection is, why do I do this? Why do I have this kutukam? And so we have to ask ourselves, why do we do this? Number 1, I feel good about it. I feel superior. We already talked about it. Number 2, the victim mentality which brings see, look at, life has been very unfair to me. My friend has been he's a backstabber, he's a Brutus. All these things, this kind of thought process, it encourages the victim mentality in me. And so it shifts the blame from me to XYZ. That's a very clever way of the ego to put the dosha on someone else and not allowing me to introspect. I'm a punching bag. All these things, it is so easy. I mean, by default, we think such things. And we have to get out of this mindset. And the greatest threat, these are all the greatest threat which we do very casually is gossip. Greatest fault, dosha in me is idle gossip. We call it as harmless. But for a mumukshu, nothing is harmless. Everything is harmful. Every little dosha is harmful. Because idle gossip is never pleasant. We never say anything pleasant about others in gossip, do we? It's always to tell, tell something curious, something interesting, something out of the way that somebody else has done. Nothing pleasant is ever said about anyone in gossip. Meher Baba, that master, he says, subtle sanskaras are created in me when I gossip about others behind their backbiting. It is not at all good. These sanskaras go very deep. The person who is saying it, of course, very deep. Even the person who is listening, in him also subtle sanskaras are, created. And it's the worst type of dosha that I can commit. It's very, very, difficult to eradicate this kind of dosha, sanskaras. It's like a virus. It is wicked and it is troublesome. Therefore, do not defame anyone. Do not vilify others. Even the worst terrorist or the worst politician or whoever, don't do it. It's what this master is telling us. Even not just this Ayava, in Sadhana Panchakam, composition of Adi Shankaracharya, what he says is, Paraninda should never be a part of sadhaka's life. Anyone's life for that matter, but especially a sadhaka's life. Paraninda should never be done. So in the Sadhana Panchakam, it is given, how should my speech be? My speech, when I speak to someone, how should it be? It should be anudvega karam. My speech should not agitate the person I am speaking to. Anudvega karam vakyam. And it should be satyam. What I am speaking should be the truth. And it should be priyam. It should be pleasant also. So we have that famous Subhashita. Satyam bruyat, priyam bruyat, na bruyat, satyam apriyam. Do not tell, just because it's the truth, don't tell it to someone's face. And of course, priyancha anrutam na bruyat. You should not tell lies just because it's very pleasant. All these things are there. So, anudveka karam, satyam, priyam, and hitam. That whatever I tell somebody should be beneficial to that person. That should be the kind of, my speech has to be like that. Does gossip, have any of these things? Nothing. The worst thing is, it is not at all hitam to anyone. Neither to me, nor to the listener, nor to the person who has been talked about, isn't it? So, and Shankaracharya says, out of these 4 parameters, at least 3 have to be met when I'm speaking. So beautiful, right? So is it really possible to live like that? Is it really possible? Yes. How? So that is why the avatars have come to teach us how to behave. So while I was looking at this Dosha Parihara Ashtakam, I was also reading a commentary on the Ramacharita by Tulsidas ji. Very, very elevating and beautiful, many insights, which I'm very happy to share. Parallelly, I'll be sharing inputs from Ramacharita to complement this. So in one specific prasanga in the Ramacharita in the Ayodhya Kanda, Rama has been banished to Vanavasa. This is the prasanga. Rama has been, banished by Kaikeyi, but he doesn't take it as banishment. He is very happy. So Rama, along with Lakshmana and Sita, he is camped in the outskirts of Ayodhya in the land of Nishada Raja. Nishada Raja, the tribal king, he is there in his place. The first night outside Ayodhya. And so Sumantra, the charioteer of Lord Dasharatha and Lord Rama, Dasharatha had sent Sumantra, at least take them in the chariot. Sita Devi is going. You please take them in a chariot and at least leave them in the outskirts of Ayodhya. So there is Sumantra, the very, very divine mantri of this Vamsha. And then Rama, Lakshmana and Nishada Raja. And Nishada Raja has made him a bed of parna, leaves. And the couple, they are sleeping there. Looking at the Rama and Sita lying like that, Nishada Raja is overcome with dukkha. Crown Prince of Ayodhya, the princess of, Sita Devi, the beautiful Sukumari of Janaka Maharaja, Dasharatha's son, Janaka Maharaja's daughter, and such people, they're so used to this royal life and they're sleeping on the ground. Nishada Raja tears are rolling down his cheeks. And so Lakshmana, very quick temper. This is next day morning. Lakshmana, he says, so then Rama tells Sumantra, you please go now. I'm not coming back to Ayodhya. Dasharatha told Sumantra to tell, bring them, at least bring Sita Devi back. She said, nothing doing. Rama is, can a shadow be without the body? She says, I cannot leave. The shadow will go wherever the body goes. So I am with Rama, no question of it. And so Rama and Lakshmana start doing their jata. That means sannyasa, we have started, Vanavasa has started. And then when Nishada Raja starts wailing, oh, I can't look at your, this is such an unfortunate thing which has happened to you. Lakshmana speaks very angrily about his father, Dasharatha. He finds dosha in Dasharatha's behavior. We feel it's very valid, isn't it? Anybody, all of us find dosha with Dasharatha. What was wrong with him? His wife asked, and this fellow said, okay, you go. What is this nonsense? Lakshmana said as many things. And he says, my father, tell him, let him. Then Lakshmana, Rama tells Sumantra, please take care of my father. He's very old. He will miss me. Please take care of him. So this Lakshmana says, why that old man? Let him die. How does it matter? He was overcome by Kama. That is why he has banished his son. Very, very, very harsh words from Lakshmana. And Rama cannot listen to it. Rama said, Rama, Rama, he says. Immediately said, don't say such things. Nindana should not be done. He says, Rama says, Lakshmana, please don't say such thing. And then to Sumantra, he says, please do not report it to my father that Lakshmana said these things. Don't say, because it is harmful. See, that speech has to be anudvega karam. The moment, Dasharatha hears these things, what Lakshmana said about me, he'll become full of udvega. Though it is satyam, and it might not be satyam also, it might not be kama. He had given a promise to that boon, he had given long ago. It is not even satyam. It is definitely not priyam, and it is definitely not hitam. It is not beneficial to my father in any manner. Please, Sumantra, you don't convey this to my father. None of the parameters are met. So, this is just to say that we have to be like that. After all, Rama is there for us to, he's telling us how to behave. And why does Lakshmana also, doesn't he know all this? He is also a jnani. Lakshmana is Adishesha himself. So why does he do such thing? So that we can get the benefit of Rama's teaching. For Dharma Sanstapana, Lakshmana keeps getting angry throughout the Ramayana. When Lakshmana gets angry only, Rama can give us the advice. Good cop, bad cop kind of, combination they do it. So, again, in Sadhana Panchakam, this line comes, Natu vrutha vakyam samucharya. Vrutha vakyam, unnecessarily, don't blabber, don't keep talking, don't utter or repeat useless words. That's what Rama is telling Sumantra. Do not utter or repeat these useless words to my father. Share only good things. Whenever we speak, let us share only good things which are uplifting and elevating to the other person. Okay. So the next line in this verse is, Anyasya dosha ganana kutunakam sametatu. Why am I so eager to count the doshas of others? Avishkaroti niyatam mai doshavatmam. It is again showing me the mirror to my own face. That is why there's a mirror over here. It is showing me my own faults. Dosha punarmai nachet akhile satishe. Here is the Vedanta part. Akhile ishe sati. I know. I have done Vedanta for so long. I have read Isha Vasyamidam Sarvam. Sarvam Khalvidam Brahma. Shivo, everything is Shivamayam. I know that. I keep telling that also. Everything is Bhagavan, everything is Ishvara, everything is God. Haven't I said that 100 times? Akhile Ishe Sati means everything indeed is, Sati means indeed. Everything indeed is Ishvara. I know that. How can I find fault with Ishvara? Yet I go on doing it. Punarmai dosha grahana katham udetu. Why do I again and again fall into the trap? Even then I know that the worst criminal on earth is also Ishvara. I still find dosha about him and I talk about it. Why? It is he is imploring God. Tell me, why am I like this? It's a good question to ask God. Why am I like this? I know you are God. You're in everything. You're in a grass, you're in an elephant, you're in a blue whale, you're everywhere. But still I find dosha. Why am I doing this? The same question Arjuna asked Bhagavan in the Bhagavad Gita. Atha kena prayuktoham papam charati purushaha. Then why do people do papa? Anichannapi. Even if I don't want, paladenaiva niyojita. Somehow I am compelled to do this papa. Why? He asks, very honestly, he asks on behalf of all of us. Arjuna asks, I don't want to do papa. Neither, not me, not you, not anyone. Nobody wants to do papa willingly. Yet they do it. Why? So Krishna has a beautiful answer. He says, Prakruteh kriyamanani. Are you are not doing papa, Arjuna. It is your nature, Prakruti. What is the nature? Prakriti is made of three. Sattva, Guna, Rajoguna, Tamoguna. All of us are a combination of SRT. Sattva, Rajas, Tamas. This Prakriti is so powerful, it makes me do things. Me means it makes the other person also do things that he does because of Prakriti. So Krishna says, Prakriti is doing everything according to the gunas. Ahankara vimuda atma karta aham iti manyate. You are an egoistic person and so you think, I am doing it. You are not doing anything. Prakriti is doing everything. Why are you taking the doership? Why are you claiming ownership of your behavior? Very, very, very difficult to digest this. So am I not responsible for my behavior? First step, understand. Before jumping to the last, understand that it is Prakriti which is making me do things. Prakriti's mandate is to keep me in delusion, isn't it? She wants me to forget. She Yadevi Sarva Bhuteshu Bhranti Rupena Sanstita. So she will make me forget and she will make me take ownership. I am like this, I am like that, I am beautiful, I am arrogant. Arrogant, nobody will admit. I am beautiful, I am intelligent, I am perfect. All these things I'll keep telling myself. Actually, it is, if I am really beautiful and talented and everything, it is Prakriti who has blessed me with all this. I cannot claim it as mine. Talent, everything has been given by Bhagavan. The first tip to overcoming fault finding is to internalize and live the Vedantic Mahavakya. What is it? Ishavasyamidam sarvam. Akhile Ishe Sati. Everything indeed is Ishvara. Then I will not find fault. Is that right? Is it so easy? Oh, so easy. Ignorance also, Ajnana also, misbehavior also. Is it Bhagavan, part of Bhagavan? The answer is, shockingly, yes. It is very, very, we need to unwrap it to understand how it does even work. How can Ajnana be Bhagavan? It is him because there is nobody else. Akhilesh, Ishe, Sati. Everything is Brahman only. Everything is Bhagavan only. To understand this, I have another beautiful anecdote to relate from the Ramacharita Manas. That even Ajnana, even, negative emotions, even this kutilata, even that also comes from Bhagwan only. This episode is of Manthara. Manthara, who was the maid of Kaikeyi. So she was a very old woman. She had retired also, actually. She had retired also. And when this Rama Rajyabhisheka was announced, what happened? The whole of Ayodhya was rejoicing. They were very happy. Wow, our Rama, the greatest. I mean, they all looked upon him as Bhagwan only. And he said they were very happy that he was going to be the Yuvaraja. They were all rejoicing, but somebody was unhappy. Who? Manthara later. But before that, the Devas were worried. Who are these Devas? The Indra Deva, Varuna Deva, Agni Deva, all these Devas in heaven, they were worried. Why? Because in the beginning, before Rama was born, they had gone to Lord Vishnu and said, please take avatara and save us from these Rakshasas. Many Rakshasas are bothering us, bothering the Praja also. Maricha, Subahu, Tataka, Ravana, Kumbhakarna, all these guys. And so they were bothering, and the first thing they do is go what? They go and attack Indra Padavi. They go to heaven and Svargaloka and they shake his throne. So they had all gone and fell at Vishnu's feet, said, please take avatara. And Vishnu has said, Tatastu. That's why he is born as Rama. And now they are worried. If Rama is given Pattabhisheka and he happily settles down in Ayodhya, when will he go to the forest and tackle all these Rakshasas? When will he go to Lanka? That was their problem. So what they did, very interesting. What they did was, they plot and plan. And they called Saraswati Devi, Brahmaji's wife. Saraswati Devi, you come. They didn't even offer a seat to Saraswati. They were in such urgency and they were so disturbed. They said, come. We have got something to request for you. What? What should I do? Go twist someone's mind among Dashratha's closest people and send Rama to Vanavasa. That was the request of the Devatas. That is written in the Ramacharita Okay. Many Rakshasas are waiting for liberation. Many people are waiting, sages are waiting for relief. Rama cannot sit on the throne right now. There is a lot of time for that. Now he has got a lot of work to accomplish. So please do something. The Saraswati Devi was upset. What are you making me do? They said, Loka Kalyana. Of course, you have to cooperate. And so Saraswati Devi, very reluctantly, she goes and hunts a mind which can be twisted easily. See, we have these sattva, rajas, tamas, we have in us, and that also the devas, they will use it as an instrument for Loka Kalyana. So, that is how it is said that Saraswati Devi twisted the mind of Manthara, and we know what ensued. So what is the learning here? The learning is, let us learn to look at the doshas of others with the Manthara lens. Can you do that? Something is compelling that person to behave like that. We have to learn to do that. What about me? Can I apply the same lens to me? No, I cannot do that. For me, I have to improve. I cannot sit like Duryodhana and say, I am like, I cannot follow dharma. No. This Manthara lens is only for the outer Mantharas. For the inner Manthara in me, Dosha Parihara Ashtakam. So, what should I do? Yadevi Sarva Bhuteshu Bhranti Rupe is there. But she is the Buddhi Rupena Sanstita also. The same Devi who has given me Bhranti has given me Buddhi also. That is the agenda of this whole creation. We have to evolve and get out of this. Our Prabhuji says, do not ever close the door to Viveka, Buddhi. Do not ever, because that's the only escape route the Devi has given us. Buddhi. Buddhim tu Sarathim Vidhi. The beautiful shloka in the Katha Upanishad, isn't it? Atmanam Rathinam Vidhi. This Atma, the Jivatma, is the fellow sitting in the chariot of the body. And who should hold the reins? Buddhim tu Sarathim. The one who is holding the reins should be the intellect, which is infused with Viveka, Vairagya. That is why Krishna is called the Partha Sarathi, isn't it? So, this Mantara lens I should not apply to myself. For my doshas, I had to hand over my buddhi. The Sarathi has to be Krishna Bhagavan. It has to be Jnana. So, Akhile Ishe Sati. Everything, there's only perfection in the world. Ishvara Shushti is perfect. It is nirdosha. It is flawless. Still, it is very difficult to accept. For me, I find it is difficult to accept because I'm seeing dosha everywhere. Even in gods, I see dosha. Even in Rama, I see dosha. Again, in the Ramacharita. I'm sorry, I'm so taken up by this Ramacharita right now, and I feel there are lessons in it which are very complementary to this Dosha Parihara Ashtakam. So, this is a prasanga of the Sita Swayamvara. What happens is, Sita, all the Rajas have come with the, they want to win the hand of Sita. Why not? Janaka Maharaja's daughter, and they have all assembled, and Sita and Rama and Janaka and Sunaina, which is Sita's mother, they are all undergoing different emotions. We know that Sita is Lakshmi Devi and Rama is, Narayana himself. Janaka is Videha Janaka, is enlightened. Sita is sent for Gauri Puja. Her mother sends her to Gauri Puja and to pray for a good husband. It feels very funny that Sita has to pray for a good husband or what. But she goes, and she also goes with great sincerity. It feels like a dosha. I feel like saying, what man, Sita? Don't you know that, Rama is going to get married to you? All that. And then Sita, and then after Rama, and she's hoping in her heart of hearts, she's hoping, may please Rama break the bow and let him be my husband. Sita. And then when she's walking towards Rama, after Rama breaks the bow, she's walking towards Rama with a Jayamala. She has to put the mala. And there are so many emotions within her when she is approaching Rama. Like any other ordinary bride, she's feeling all these emotions. Excitement is there, delight is there. So many human emotions. And Rama also feels a strange excitement when Sita is approaching him. Janaka also is, when after Raja is failing in breaking the bow, he's worried. Will my daughter ever get married? He's also worried. And then there is Parashurama, who is another avatara. He is also very angry, aggressive. He's coming and he's shouting at Rama, what are you doing? Lakshmana is also very aggressive. He is also shouting at Parashurama, you know who I am? I am Adishesha. He says such things. So, when this whole episode, when you see with the first layer, just on the face of it, everyone seems to be so fallible. Everyone is so fallible. The gods are fallible. They are not at all nirdosha. They have a lot of dosha, I felt. And then, in the following chaupais, Goswamiji, he resolves it so beautifully. It was like a cool shower. He says, when Janaka set eyes on Rama, it was Ananda. See, Janaka was a Videha Janaka. He was already Jivan Mukta. So his eyes never went out towards the objects. So he felt that, when I am looking at Rama, when I'm attracted to Rama, it means he is God. It must be Bhagavan. Ananda is in him. Why is he looking at Rama with such longing? Because it's God. Why are Sita and Rama looking at each other? Because it's Ananda. It is not some other human emotion. When Parashurama and Rama speak together, later it's Ananda only. Deva Devatas come to bless the wedding. Ananda, which is the nature of Brahman, Satchidananda. Everyone is in bliss. It is not some simple excitement or joy that we feel. That is very temporary. But this is the bliss that is happening. So what is the little adyar? So here the explanation given by Goswami ji is, it's not that Sita is excited or Janaka is sad or Rama is excited. No, it is all these adhyaropa which has been done deliberately by Vishwamitra Rishi and Vasishtha Rishi, so that this game is played out. Adhyaropa means what? Superimposition. Superimposition of human qualities on the gods, so that this whole thing can be played out. Rama, Sita, Dasharatha, Janaka, they're all putting up a grand show for us. It's a adhyaropa. Okay, adhyaropa has happened. What about apavada? That's a very technical prakriya in Vedanta. Adhyaropa, apavada. To explain something, we superimpose some qualities and then we remove it also to show the truth. Okay. So what is the resolution? Okay, we can use the words. Okay, now these superimposed human qualities have been superimposed. But how is it resolved? This is the beauty. When Sita approaches Rama with Jaimala, she goes into samadhi. That is the apavada. It is called in Vedantic terminology. That is what it is. Excitement, human emotions, everything is there. But when I go inward towards myself, there's only samadhi, bliss, shanti. You know, Rama and Sita are inseparable. They're Purusha and Prakriti. Naturally, there's going to be samadhi when they're together. So even the baddies, Ravana, etc., they're also putting up a show for us. They're adhyaropa. They have been given those bad qualities so that the drama is played out. That is how it is. So that is how we have to look at the dosha in others. Our halat, our problem is we superimpose the dosha on others, but that we don't see the resolution. We don't follow it through. Maybe there is a reason why that person is acting like this. That we don't do. So this is what we need to learn from all these Mahatmas. So as I go inward, the Advaita becomes a blur and there is only Advaita. So when I look at the doshas of others with the Manthara lens, the Dvaita will go and only Advaita will remain. So this happened to me recently. Even as I was reading this Dosha Parihara Ashtakam, it's not so easy to get rid of habits, lifetime of habits, isn't it? So recently in my apartment where I live, it is getting freshly painted. It's getting a fresh coat of paint. It's looking very nice. You know, all these stains are gone, freshly painted, everything. And suddenly one day, we see that on a freshly painted wall, graffiti, ugly, graffiti has been done by some teenagers. So what do you expect everyone to do in the group? We have a WhatsApp group, residents group. Everyone blown up, so angry. What is this nonsense? Can't the elders look after the teenagers? Who did this? There must be CCTV cameras. Catch the fellows, catch the culprits, make them pay for it. Why can't the parents teach their children how to behave? Don't they know? Oh my God, I also joined. Yes, there is no hope for this world. Youngsters are like this. If in the small community of 350 or 500 people, we cannot control our children, how will 140 crores of us get controlled? These were the kind of extrapolation happened in my head also. This is bad behavior, which is very valid. Freshly painted, man. I mean, anybody would get angry, isn't it? And then what happened that afternoon, I was going down in the basement and I saw two teenagers. They were scrubbing the wall on which they had done the graffiti. So that was their punishment given by, not punishment, they had to set it right. So they were scrubbing it. And I saw, this boy is my friend's son. Very dear to me. Very close. Then immediately, all that rage I had felt, no, it just melted. Are ನಮ್ಮ ಹುಡುಗ ಪಾಪ ಏನೋ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ ಮಾಡ್ಬಿಟ್ಟ. Teenagers are going to be teenagers. No, that was my attitude immediately. Just because this was a child who was known to me and is a very good egg. He is a good boy. I know. He's a brilliant student also. So just by one moment, all my anger or resentment came down, and I felt very kind. And I felt very bad about, thinking ill of that person also. Whoever it is, whoever's child, maybe if he wasn't known to me, I would still be angry with some unknown teenager. Very bad on my part. Isn't it? So this is how it was that apavada happens. Adhyaropa, yes, we have found, that some teenagers to be badly behaved. That apavada will also happen. They are just teenagers, no. Teenagers will be teenagers. They behave like that. What to do? It's fine. Give it another coat of paint. What else can you do? Like this, if I can do that, in transaction, yes, it is very necessary to find dosha. Yes, that boy has to be told, this is bad. But there is no need for that internal agitation. That is what I am coming to. Find fault, fine, and get it corrected. But let it be, just at that surface level. No need to agitate myself over it and do these things. So in transaction, all this dosha finding, when the food is not well, of course, you put some more salt, all that we have to do. But absolutely no need to get worked up about it. We make a mental note about it, we move on, we take corrective steps. And how do it is said, how to give advice to a erring child. It is preceded by prema. With great love, we have to correct the child or the person who has erred, and then followed by ashirvada. That is how a responsible adult will behave towards everyone. Preceded by prema, -- advice, followed by ashirvada. We need to do this even with idle gossip. So I find myself doing this idle gossip, and then suddenly I remember this dosha parihara ashtakam. Fault finding is bad. So what do? Immediately I pray for the well-being of the person with whom I have found dosha. And I ask for forgiveness with Lord Shiva. What else I can do? I have to make it a habit, and then it will slowly become my nature. So should I find fault with myself? Certainly. Introspection is very, very important for my evolution, but only in front of God. Let me not go out in public. Oh, I have studied the dosha parihara ashtakam. I have a great fault within me. Let me go and tell everyone. No. In society, gambhirvadirbeku. Just do your work, and no need to do tom about your faults, because people will laugh at you. None of your work will get done, and you will lose credibility. Let me not do that. What I have to do is, quietly in front of God, I beg for forgiveness and ask for, show me the way in front of God. This is fine. Even great Mahatmas, they said, no, papoham, papa karmaham, papatma, papa sambhava. They will say in front of God, because in front of God we should all become very, very, very small. That is the dasya bhava. Of course, I am not a papatma. In the paramarthika sense, I am Brahman. I am Brahmasmi. I am flawless. But as a deluded, jaded and faded jiva, I should become small in front of God and Guru. Okay. And so that is, we have taken 1 whole hour. I have taken 1 whole hour for 1 verse. Let us quickly see verse number 2 also. It says, it is the same theme, continues for this whole 8 verses, same thing. Yesha vyathetara kruteti mamesha tasmin Kopo yadisvaparakama prasuta seyam vyatheti mayimena katannu kopaha swasya vyatha swadurita prabhavahi sarva. It says, see, it's not just I am happy finding fault with others, but if someone finds faults with me, I get very angry. It's another introspection I have to do. Why do I get angry? But the same thing is, done to me. It is very bad behavior on my part. This is what, I'm sorry, we have gone to verse 3 by mistake. Verse 2. This is verse 2. Yeah, we are here. So I don't like being corrected. And the author goes on to say, you know why I get angry? Because there is anger in me already. That is why I get. Swadurita prabhava. It is not the fault of somebody to find fault in me and I get angry. I get angry because I already have anger in me. So what is my first level of response to everything that is, I get angry about something. What is my first level of response? Itarakruta. Somebody else is the cause of my anger. That is what it is saying. Itarakruta. My anger is itarakruta because somebody else made me angry. Is it possible for somebody to make me angry? There's already anger in me. This is a very beautiful example to bring this out. Okay, a Zen master. He was going with a cup of tea. And our disciple knocked against him and the tea spilled. So of course the disciple immediately cleaned it up and said, and the master asked him, what spilled here? The disciple said, tea spilled. The master said, no, if there was milk in the cup, what would have spilled? Milk would have spilled. So whatever is in me can only come out. If somebody can ignite anger in me, it's because I already have anger in me. If I don't have it, I'll not get angry. That is what this Ayyawal is telling here. I simply unnecessarily get angry with others, but it's in me. That is why I'm getting angry. All my suffering is because of my own past actions, my karma. Kama prasuta. Kama is because of my desire. Anger comes and it is because of my swadurita prabhava. Swadurita. Durita is the troubles are all man-made. I have brought it upon myself. All these tendencies, I have let it grow in me. So somebody can trigger anger in me because I have anger in me. Again, is it possible that somebody does not get angry at all? Very much possible. Our own Prabhuji, I've never seen him get angry at all. Really. He himself has said recently, he's like 64. The last time he got angry in his life was at the age of 18, 18. He said something happened, he banged his head against the wall, and then all his anger drained out. That the last time he got angry. So he doesn't have anger in him, so he cannot be triggered at all. If I get angry, if I get upset, if I get jealous, if I get all these negative emotions, kama, krodha, lobha, moha, madam, matsarya, everything, if I am there, I am everything is in me. The seeds are already in me. That is what Ayyawal is telling us. Don't blame the world for your problems. Everything is in you. If my mind is filled with criticism, I immediately notice people's mistakes. As a profession, like Vaniji said, I'm an editor. So immediately when I see something written content, my eyes will go into the spelling mistake. Proofreading comes automatically to me. That is how it is. On the other hand, if my mind is filled with appreciation, immediately I'll see all the virtues only in people. So classic example is of Dhrutra, what's his name? Yudhishthira and Duryodhana. You know, what happened is Vidura sent them on a tour to Hastinapura. They had one mission: find one bad fellow and bring him to court. Vidura had given this mandate to these both the crown. It was his way of testing who is good for to rule Hastinapura, isn't it? So Yudhishthira went and came back empty-handed. Duryodhana also came back empty-handed. Why? Yudhishthira said, I don't find a single bad person. Everyone is a good person. I don't find anyone bad at all. Duryodhana said, everyone is a bad person. How many people can I get to my court? See, two people, same, same environment, two different responses. That is what Ayawad is pointing out here. Again, did Rama see dosha in Kaikeyi? Did Sita see dosha in Kaikeyi? Did Lakshmana see dosha? Did Kausalya? Did Sumitra? Did anyone see dosha in Kaikeyi? Not even a single moment. Amazing. I mean, this is really, one has to, they are just elevating even to talk about it. Because Rama did not see dosha because he himself is dosha rahita. You know, when he was told you have to go to Vanavasa, he was delighted. The reason I have come for this, I have taken avatara will be fulfilled. And he said, all my dharma, artha, kama, moksha, all four purusharthas are fulfilled if I go for Vanavasa. See, how the pratikula paristhiti, he turned it to anukula. He said, dharma, the moksha, I'll get moksha because the forest is full of these enlightened sages. I can sit and do Vedanta, Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana, all I want. 24/7 I can do. Moksha. Dharma will be established because my brother Bharata, he is a dharma nishtha. He will be so good for Ayodhya. Dharma will be established. Artha, he will make, dharma is, I'll be paripalana. I'm doing paripalana of my father's words. Father and mother, I'm doing paripalana of Pitruvakya. Dharma, Artha, Ayodhya will become a wealthy state, wealthy kingdom. Kama, my mother, Kaikeyi, she had the desire to see Bharata as a prince. That will be fulfilled. See, all Purusharthas are getting fulfilled. He is very happy. He does not see dosha even for a single moment. Lakshmana was also delighted. I will get Rama all for myself for 14 years. I can serve him. That was his first thought. Kausalya, she said, oh, everyone says you are. She was not worried that he is going away to my son is, how will he survive? She, not for a moment she thought that. Her mind didn't even go to the whys and wherefores of why this thing came about. He said, I have heard that you are Narayana himself. I am not worried about you. Go. She gave him Ashirvada. Sumitra also. See, all enlightened kings, queens Dasharatha had. Sumitra also said, take care of Rama and Sita. That is your job. Do it. So they gave Ashirvada and none of them saw any dosha, Baba, in the whole situation. How beautiful is that? So they are, but I can say, Ore Bapre, but they are gods. And I'm very, very, very human. I have all sorts of, doshas in me. It's okay for the gods to do all that. But that's the whole point, isn't it? We have to learn from the gods. We have to learn from the Puranas. We have to learn from the Yadyad Acharati Shrestha. We have to learn from how elders behave, how the gurus behave. We have to learn. That is why all these things are told to us. Pratikula should be converted to Anukula. This is what Esha Vyatha Kama Prasuta. Anger is born out of desire. It's already in me. Swakruta. It is not Anyakruta. It is Swakruta. So all these I have to tell myself and learn from the lessons given by the masters. Means I have to take full responsibility of my life and actions. I have to take full responsibility at the transactional level. Internally, I know everything is Bhagavan's will. Everything, I have to act as if I have free will, and internally I should know it is only Ishvara's will which is prevailing at any point of time. So this is about verse number 2. Let me not allow, what does he say? Swadurita prabhava. My own prarabdha, let it not control my behavior. Knock, knock. Who is there? Prarabdha. Who should open the door? Purushartha. See, along with prarabdha, Purushartha is also coming along, isn't it? So, that is what this Ayyaval is telling us. Stop the blame game. Anyakruta, nobody else is responsible for your dosha of fault finding. Correct yourself and move on. So this is verse number 2 of Dosha Parihara Ashtakam. So we have 6 more verses. We can take it up on the next occasion. Right now, let us ask forgiveness for our own swabhava of finding dosha. Wait, let us ask God. 8 minutes, just. Yeah. This is a beautiful shloka which never fails to move me. Kara charana krutam vak, kayajam karmajam va, shravana nayanajam va, manasam va paradham, vihitam avihitam va, sarvametat kshamasva. Jaya Jaya Karunabde, Shri Mahadeva Shambho. Hey Karunabde, hey ocean of compassion, please forgive me all my wrong actions. By body, mind and speech, Kara, Charana, Krutam, by my hands, everything. I might be sinning at every point of time. Please forgive me. Unknown. Jaya Jaya Karunabde. May there be victory unto you, O Lord Shiva. Yes. With this, for today, we can end for here. Yes. Thank you, Vani Vasu. I loved sharing all this, especially the bits about Ramacharita Really, really very moving, all the episodes. Thank you so much. Thanks.